So you're looking to move to Citrus Park, one of the suburban areas right here in Tampa. Well, in this video, I talk about the pro and con of moving to and living in Citrus Park. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Orlando Living with Dee. And if this is your first time, please press the thumbs up button and show me some love, because I bring you community videos, pro and con videos all throughout Central Florida, Orlando, Greater Orlando, Tampa, Tampa Bay, and Ocala. And today I'm going to be doing a video about the pro and cons of moving to and living in Citrus Park. Now, before I get into this, and I say this all the time with my pro and con, a pro to you could be a con to me, a con to you could be a pro to you. So please take this with a grain of salt, however they say it over here. So don't take my word, it just has to work for you and your family. And the number one pro of moving to and living in Citrus Park is basically the location of Citrus Park. You're just about 10 minutes to the downtown Tampa, and Tampa being the number one or a huge suburban metropolitan city that has a lot of employment opportunities. A lot of people that move over here are moving because of the employment opportunities, because Tampa downtown is just about 10 to 15 minutes down the road. It's a major suburban area for people that are working in the downtown. So that is the number one pro of moving to and living in Citrus Park. Now let's talk about the number two pro of moving to and living in Citrus Park. The number two pro of moving to and living in Citrus Park is if you have kids. I have two small kids. I have a 4-year-old and I have a 7-year-old, and not every day you can take them to the parks that Central Florida, Tampa has to offer. So it's kind of nice that you can come to one of the community parks. It's located in Hillsborough County. If you haven't watched my video on Citrus Park as a community where I talk about school, hospital, shopping, dining, and everything in between, make sure to do that, because I let you know exactly the location, the zip codes, the real estate, the value. So it will give you a little bit more information. And it's kind of nice because with the kids, I don't know about you, but for me, it's really nice. I can bring them to the park, let them run around so they can get a little exhausted, go home, and hopefully go to bed sooner than later. So I do believe if you are going to be raising a family, this is a great suburban area of Tampa to raise a family with the school and the infrastructure that it has around the schools, and also the healthcare. Now let's talk about the number three pro of moving to and living in Citrus Park. One of the major pro of moving to and living in Citrus Park is that its location and its accessibility to the healthcare infrastructure. Though they do not have a major hospital in Citrus Park, you're not very far to the major hospitals such as the Tampa General. You're just about half an hour. There's several healthcare facilities such as the urgent care, the Advent Health, the ER, located in and around within 15 to 30 minutes, and its accessibility to the downtown kind of makes it a prime suburban Tampa area to kind of raise a family or to move in. Now that the pro is done, let's talk about the con of moving to and living in Citrus Park. So one of the major cons of moving to and living in Citrus Park is the property taxes. You as a property owner, your property taxes millage rate is higher when you compare that to the other parts of Florida. So this is something to keep in mind. This could be a burden for you. This may not be a burden. Even though you do get a homestead exemption in Florida, this is something to keep in mind, because when you are buying a property, you want to make sure that you look at it overall, what it would cost you in terms of taxes, in terms of everything else that you need to maintain. So now that the first one is done, let's talk about the second con of moving to and living in Citrus Park. So one of the other cons of moving to and living in Citrus Park is that there's not a major transportation system. Now, this is mainly true for quite a bit of Central Florida, Orlando, Greater Orlando, Tampa Bay cities, even Ocala for that matter, because there's not a major transportation system as you would find in New York or Chicago or San Francisco. So if you're going to rely on a public transportation system for your work, it may not work. But then again, I always say a pro and con really depends upon you and your family situation, because if you work from home and you really don't travel, then it may be perfect because the infrastructure related to the health and school is pretty solid, it's good, and you're just 10 minutes to the downtown. And Tampa being as one of the major hub for a lot of IT jobs, there's a lot of people that are moving. The average job is much higher than the other suburban part of Central Florida and Tampa. Now let's talk about the last con of moving to and living in Citrus Park. So the last con of moving to and living in Citrus Park is in relation to the weather. As beautiful as this is, and you are close to the bay, you're close to the ocean, and during the hurricane season, if we get a lot of hurricanes, then you probably will find yourself in the middle of all. Whereas the difference in Central Florida, Orlando, is that you're quite a bit in. I've been living there since 2001, and whenever there has been a major hurricane, there's a lot of rain and a lot of wind, but I'm not evacuating almost every time the hurricane is here. So this is something to consider, which may or may not work. But if you like ocean, you want to be near the ocean, you want to do the water sports and whatever that you want to do, then this may work for you. And that is why what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. I hope my video brings in a lot of value for you. If they do, please press that thumbs up button. And remember, if you are looking to buy a brand new home anywhere in Central Florida, Tampa, Tampa Bay, Orlando, Greater Orlando area, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show. And we also have Orlando Home Show in Espanol, where we do the models in Spanish. Until the next community video, thank you for watching. Bye for now.